Look into my eyes.
What solutions does Flir offer for the ITS market?
So Flir offers innovative solutions that enhance the safety and efficiency both in urban and interurban traffic. So first of all, let me explain a little bit what we mean with urban and interurban. First, the urban market is everything what has to do inside the city, for example, intersection control, pedestrian crossings, bicycle lanes. So that is all what we call urban traffic. And what we call interurban traffic is more related to tunnel applications, or highways or bridges. So let me first give you a small overview of how we are going to improve the safety and efficiency. And let me start with the urban traffic. So what we are going to see here are the two pillars, like mentioned, enhancing the safety and the efficiency. Now, let's say for urban traffic, for intersection control, this type of solutions, what we were already offering for more than 20 years, 25 years approximately, is how replacing electromagnetic loops by virtual loops. Obviously, it's a very important market because loop detection has been the basis for controlling intersections and for feeding the controls at intersections with information. So let's say for traffic control, that is something that we're offering already for the last 25 years, even longer. It's since 1992, so it's already more than 30 years. The thing is that, let's say, over the last years, there are a lot of new techniques coming up. As a matter of speaking, for example, in camera detection, thermal or visual, we're now talking about DNN models, where we are going to classify vehicles better, where we can count them better. So while a couple of years ago, loops were still the standard of giving data and information towards the controller and towards the city concerning the traffic at their intersections, now we see technologies like ours popping up, which are giving actually a lot more information than only loop information. So let's say, what can we do with that? For the moment, we are able to give you information counting at intersections, classification, what type of vehicles are arriving at the intersection. Is it a normal car? Is it a bus? Is it a truck? Can be bicycles, maybe pedestrians. And depending on that type of traffic, maybe you can make your traffic also more efficient. As an example, if you see a truck or a bus arriving at your intersection and it's going to arrive at your stop bar in maybe 5 to 10 seconds, then it makes sense to let it pass instead of giving already going to red and let it stop in front of the stop bar. If you have a truck in front of your stop bar, then it means the acceleration phase in the beginning is going to really slow down your traffic because it's not that fast. And on top of that, it's very polluted. It will cause quite a lot of pollution. So to make it more efficient and healthier, maybe you want to have those that type of traffic to pass in a better way, in a more fluid way. I give you another example. We can, for example, count also the number of vehicles that are in front of an intersection, dependent on the longitude or the, let's say, the length of your queue. Maybe you can decide to give a higher priority to one direction instead of to another direction. These are just a few examples how the new data can help you improving the efficiency of your intersection. Now, we have talked a lot about vehicles, how you can improve that efficiency. In fact, what is very interesting is that we are now also looking at vulnerable road users, pedestrian detection, bicycle detection, and that is a part that has been for a long time ignored. Well, not ignored, there were in fact not really systems that could do the detection accurately, but if you want to make our cities green, it's very important that we also take into account these users of the city, bicycles, pedestrians that are in fact not polluting at all, to let them also pass in an efficient way. So we can detect them. We can, for example, be at a bike lane, seeing where the bicycles are going to arrive, also to give them green at the time that they arrive at the stop bar for them. Or, for example, if you're going to look at the pedestrians, maybe if you have one or two pedestrians waiting at your intersections, you don't give them a priority. But if there are a bunch of pedestrians waiting, what our detectors can also see, well, maybe at that time it's necessary to give a higher priority and to let the pedestrians cross safe and faster. Now, together with, let's say, promoting greener cities by making it more efficient for vulnerable road users, the first thing what we actually have to do is also to make it more safe. That's also the reason why we say enhancing safety enhancing the safety of bicycles and enhancing the safety of pedestrians. This is, in fact, unfortunately, one of the major causes of, let's say, of accidents and fatalities in a city are involving vulnerable road users. I'm going to give you an example, which is, let's say, probably very clear to some of you, because there are a lot of cities that are trying to plan how to, let's say, how to get this problem solved. If you're at an intersection with both a bicycle waiting and maybe a truck or a bus waiting, and you have green, then if the bicycle is going through the green straight and the truck, for example, is going to the right-hand side, then you have a very high chance of collision and of a fatality. So this is one of the major reasons why, for example, you have those very heavy accidents. Now, it's very easy to solve. We have a detector that is detecting bicycles in a very good way. So just install it, check whether there is a bicycle arriving at the intersection. If that is the case, then let's say have a dedicated sign for bikes, give it green 5 seconds earlier, and by that, the bicycle can already cross safely before that the traffic starts to move and maybe is going to head to the right. So you avoid this type of collision if you have a smart way to control if bicycles are there, that you can give them a priority on green. This is a little bit what you can do for bicycles. Same applies for pedestrians. There we have solutions that are, for example, checking if pedestrians are crossing. Well, you don't want to give already a red signal the moment that they're half crossing or that they are not really completely crossed yet. So there, our technology can help to adapt your timing so that they can also cross safely. Another way, for example, to enhance safety, that's then more, let's say, looking at how the traffic behaves at the intersection, is to look at near misses. With all our, let's say, data, with the tracking and all that information, we can also determine where or what intersections are more prone or which have a higher rate of near misses. That is also a way how you can improve the safety of your urban traffic, of your intersection. So I think that by that I gave already a few ideas how our systems and our solutions can help to improve the traffic at intersections. Now for interurban traffic, like mentioned, interurban traffic is then more what we call the tunnel market, bridges, highways. We have a very big experience, especially in the tunnel markets, where we already installed more than 4,000 tunnels with our instant detection system. So where we started off, let's say that's already since 1996, 1997, that we started to detect accidents in tunnels. So accidents with vehicles. For example, we are also able to detect pedestrians that are walking in the tunnel, fallen objects that are falling, wrong-way drivers. Very important, not only for tunnels, we have a lot of deployments also on highways, where we want to track as fast as possible that there's a wrong-way driver entering onto your highway. All these type of incidents, they have as a purpose to avoid accidents or secondary accidents. So they're extremely important to, let's say, avoid eventually more fatalities, or to warn drivers not to, for example, enter tunnel when there is a strong accident taking place. If we're talking specifically about tunnels, then in the latest years, especially ones that Flir was acquiring traffic on, from the 2015, 2016 onwards, we're also promoting fire detection in tunnels, which is going to be a very important and new market. Why? Well, there are two reasons. First of all, thermal can very quickly detect a fire. So it's a matter of 10 to 15 seconds, while the normal classical detection is only detecting after 10 minutes when the fire is big enough, which is way too late to put the fire out before that's becoming a major problem. So that is one of the applications. The other one is with our thermal cameras. If you have a fire and if you have smoke, you can actually see through smoke so that you can give this information to the fire department so that at least they know where eventually they have to rescue people. So these are a couple of examples how we can make it safer in an interurban environment. If you're looking at efficiency, it has always been also part of our offering for interurban. For example, we are looking at levels of service. Levels of service means that we're going to see how heavy your traffic is at a certain stretch of your road. Dependent on that, you can have measures, for example, by deviating your traffic to another route, or, for example, you can start doing on-ramp, let's say, on-ramp metering, so that you are, let's say, holding your traffic on your own ramps in order not to surpass the maximum capacity of your highway. There are different measures that you can take to increase the efficiency also in interurban traffic. And now with all the accessible data that we can provide, all the classification that we can now provide, obviously that enhances also the capabilities of increasing your efficiency. So I think that with these examples, that at least you get a first idea how Flir ITS innovative solutions can help you with your traffic, both urban and interurban, and how to enhance your safety and efficiency in those markets.